Well, welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here to some more Fan Fridays, and I kind of didn't believe it when I read it and then looked up as to what's going on, but this is going to be Flame Burst Strategy, and now I'm really confused and really interested because Flame Burst is a move that we have to look in after the battle. I want to see how it succeeds, then we can go and break it down, and I can give my thoughts on it because it's a really interesting move. And some of you probably don't even know what I'm talking about because you've never heard of it before, you've seen it once, and you thought it was bad. So let's go and see how this one plays out. Now it's going to be a level 1 Feargle, and, well, I'm guessing Feargle. Like, why else would Smeargle be level 1? Maybe Trick Room setup. Ooh, dang, though. The opponent looking for some hate. Oh, my goodness. Okay. That's actually a pretty ridiculous strat from the opponent. Fun stuff, but that's going to be Farfetch'd getting completely dunked, and then Gyarados taking a little bit of extra damage from the splash off of that Flame Burst, and Smeargle is setting up the Trick Room. So it's pretty much a double focus on Smeargle, or else Trick Room's going to happen, and then still free damage from the Camerupt. And it looks like Camerupt might be Specs, and at least just doing an insane amount of damage. But we do have to respect the Gyarados now, because Gyarados is at +2 immediately from the Dragon Dance. Does kind of suck with the Trick Room setup from the Smeargle, but I mean that Smeargle, or not Smeargle, that Farfetch'd is worth talking about on its own. And yeah, I see it now. Oh my goodness, he made Flame Burst work. Wow, I was not expecting that. Now I understand the Feargle. And that's Focus Sash, and like either way, Focus Sash is going to happen. So unless it's double focus on the Smeargle, this strat is going to completely wreck. And even if it is double focus on the Smeargle, that means Camerupt gets free time, and you pretty much just get to choose whatever Pokemon you want, and everything else does. That's perfect. Wow. Alright, I gotta see how this turn plays out, and how much damage the Camerupt can do to the Primate. Not enough to one-hit KO, but the Flame Burst then splashes onto the Garchomp. And that's going to be enough to take down Garchomp, and then Primeape goes for the Rock Slide, and it's going to be solid damage onto Camerupt, but Camerupt will survive it, and Life Orb. This Camerupt's tankier than I expect, but I guess you go max hit points, max special attack, since you are running Trick Room, and then you followed up with the Mudsdale, and everything should be good to go from there as the opponent takes the forfeit. Okay then, let me go and pull up Flame Burst and show you guys why I didn't understand where the strategy was going to go. Okay, so here we have Flame Burst, and this is why I was confused when I saw it, because I remember Flame Burst hits the opponent and it splashes, and I was pretty sure that was for flat amounts of damage, and it is. It only does 1/16 of their maximum hit points while only having a power of 70. I mean, it seems like there's really no reason to running the Flame Burst at all. Maybe if it was an 80 power, 85 power, you could have a reason to use it instead of Flamethrower. But also, in double battles, it has a very unique trait that it deals damage to both opponents, but the damage is not cut by 25% like other moves, Earthquake, Rock Slide, anything that hits both opponents. So technically, in comparison to the Heat Wave, it's actually doing solid damage to at least one target, then the other one is receiving Splash, but this could still be used for breaking Focus Sash or finishing off a very, very low opponent that might have survived with a Focus Sash or Endure or Sturdy or something like that. So it does have some technical use as well as a decent amount of damage, while I would prefer to see more. But it also has a lot of other interesting traits as well. And don't worry guys, I will be showing more battles from the strategy, but I think we need to really understand Flame Burst to see how this strategy worked out so well. Now, another thing is that it counts as direct damage, so it will trigger abilities like Flash Fire, Color Change, anything like that, but it will bypass protection moves, and the damage cannot miss. So there's that. And that's like a really, like, it's going to happen. That 1/16 is going to happen. And while it is a very tiny amount of damage, that's why you have the level 1 Smeargle, because under Trick Room, you just double blow up the opponent. Or, you know, Smeargle might eventually go down to, like, just residual damage or taking a hit or getting split damaged on. But overall, like, it's going to find some kind of KO or retribution potentially once, and then just the splash, and that's going to be it. So let's go and check out some more battles. I just think it's freaking brilliant. So let's go and watch how the next battle plays out as well. Also, I think this might have had a little bit of a buff since Smeargle got insanely nerfed on that Dark Void. People aren't expecting the Smeargle as much, so maybe they're not ready to react to it immediately with like Fake Out or Taunt and trying to shut it down, because the Smeargle does need to take a lot of focus for what it is to be removed as soon as possible depending on the threat level. So maybe less people or more people getting caught off guard could work out pretty well. And it looks like the opponent is going to go for that Electric Surge and bring the Electric Terrain with the double Tapu lead. We're going to see how Camerupt and Smeargle play against this, and Tapu Koko going to protect on the first turn, and we're going to see the Tapu Lele go for the Psychic damage, not boosted by the terrain, but it will still hit Smeargle, and that'll be Smeargle at 1 hit points. I think the moral of the story is to never trust a level 1 Pokemon. Now Tapu Koko will protect that Flame Burst, so kind of clean turn for the opponent. We still have Trick Room on the Smeargle, and now we get to see how the rest of this one plays out. Like the Flame Burst damage from Camerupt, I wonder if Camerupt has any like kind of special reasoning for this, but that's the Endeavor on Tapu Lele, and that's gonna be the Flame Burst onto the Tapu Koko, and Tapu Koko will barely survive. It doesn't look like Focus Sash unless it applies after the splash, but no, Tapu Koko getting a very lucky damage roll with that 1 hit point survival, but we see the splash taking out Tapu Lele, and that is going to be the mirror move Tapu Koko. I tried using it. Before. Wait, Inferno Overdrive. I thought, oh wait, never mind. I was about to say he boosted the attack, and that was because of the mirror move, and then he turned it into an Inferno Overdrive. So that's all right, but it's not going to be absurd amounts of damage because it's special and resisted, and yeah, but at least Tapu Koko did get the setup and the steal. Now let's see what happens with the Mimikyu. So, since it counts as direct damage, I guess that means it also breaks Mimikyu's whatchamacallit. Oh, we're gonna watch everything happen perfectly, guys! So, Disguise breaks. Now we're going to damage the Mimikyu, but you cannot protect the damage from the Flame Burst, so Tapu Koko is still gonna go down, even with that clutch survival. The opponent is probably really tilted right now. Probably doesn't even understand what's going on as to how Tapu Koko just died while protecting. You should be safe. There wasn't feints. There was nothing like that. Who needs to stop it? Oh, and then it's just Kartana. And then Kartana is going to get completely blown up. And also, I like the Accelerock. You can use Accelerock against anything, so that helps just to do the one little bit of damage that you need. Smeargle going to Endeavor the Kartana. Or you don't have to hit Kartana because you just, finish off the Mimikyu. Because Mimikyu wouldn't go down to the Flame Burst Splash, but you know what will? A 1 hit point Pokemon. This strat's freaking ridiculous. I love it. That's great. That is one of the coolest things ever. All right, let's go and check out another battle. Like it's just so it's clean. It's cleaner than you would expect. And it's one of those just like fierce strats. It's one of those just once you get the Trick Room or once you get a cycle, the opponent is pretty much helpless. All right, I feel like I can already see what's going to happen here. Looks like Pheromosa's just going to go for like insane damage to try to lead off, and then Snorlax might try to use that free KO / insane damage to set up a Belly Drum. But as long as it's not double focus onto the Smeargle, Trick Room's going to happen, and the Smeargle is going to at least be slower than the Snorlax. So Camerupt's also one of the more powerful Pokemon from Flame Burst for Trick Room. Actually, after this battle, I'm going to see like the usable Pokemon, the potential damage, everything like that. But no! The opponent's showing some shenanigans as well. That's a Speed Swap Pheromosa. Okay then, and that's just going to be Flame Burst on the Pheromosa. I was expecting Focus Sash, but it looks like you just have the fastest thing ever, and then you Speed Swap, and it doesn't even matter. And then Snorlax is going to Yawn. Alright, so we got Speed Swap, Yawn set up Snorlax right now. Smeargle has the Trick Room, so of all the times for Snorlax to go fast, it does not get to live out its dream. And then that's just going to be a little bit of leftovers healing. Because that was what I thought. I was like, Flame Burst 1/16th. It's not even like an 8th. It's not even a 6th. It's nothing. It's garbage. But let's see what happens. So Smeargle is going to use the Endeavor on the Snorlax because you kind of need to get that Snorlax out of there. And then Flame Burst onto Comfey. Not insane amount of damage. Will be about 50%. But we know that Snorlax will have much more than just 12 hit points for 1/16th. And Comfey going to set up the Leech Seed. Leech Seed, it's kind of an issue for Smeargle, yet kind of not. Like, it breaks Sash, but any offensive move would have broken Sash right there. So it's kind of like reverse Sash break. However, Comfey doesn't even heal enough to potentially survive the next Flame Burst. Now, if this Smeargle has Aromatherapy or something like that, that would be absolutely ridiculous. Or you can also just use this as an opportunity to get as much Endeavor for potential usage of Flame Burst. So there we go, Endeavor on the Muck. Muck is now at 11 hit points. It's going to be really hard for Muck to climb back from that, and it is going for Minimize. But Flame Burst damage cannot miss. We read about this earlier. Comfey goes for the double Leech Seed, so at least might find some healing from the Camerupt and not just the Smeargle. So while having the asleep opponent, the Muck is trying to take the most advantage of that with the Minimize. And it's not going to work because Flame Burst. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So eventually Camerupt will wake up, and even then, like, Comfey just eats an Endeavor and dies. So there's no counterplay. Oh, Floral Healing. Okay. There's some counterplay, but it's still looking really good right now. So that's going to be the Floral Healing, Smeargle with the Endeavor. That is going to target Muck. Wow, reading the Floral Healing as Camerupt wakes up into a Flame Burst. That's just dirty, but it works. And Muck's going to go down. So yeah, the Burst of Flame cannot be avoided. And we just, I can't believe how perfectly that went. I did the research, I looked up the move, and then I got to see how it works in theory, and then I actually got to see it apply in battle for pretty much every aspect of the Flame Burst. That's beautiful. This is what I want out of every single fan Friday. This is what I want out of everything in Pokemon, guys. And then the opponent, realizing there's nothing you can do against that, forfeits before the Endeavor beatdown comes in. And yeah, that's pretty awesome. That is some pretty amazing stuff. So I said I was going to go and show you guys the potential Pokemon that learn Flame Burst. It is something very overlooked, but it is not an insane amount of Pokemon. It does look like Camerupt is one of the stronger ones while also having the low amount of speed. What is Camerupt's special attack? Because it was doing some solid damage, like it one-shot the Farfetch. So 1 of 5 on the special attack. My guess is that it did have a choice specs, because it just, you gotta get the most damage out of that Flame Burst. You gotta make it hurt as much as possible. So there's probably some other Pokemon that definitely have more special attack, like the Chandelure. And yeah, I'm thinking like Magmortar, I think, has a little bit more, and the Vulpix and the Ninetales. So there's an interesting way that you could play this, but I think for the Trick Room reliability, that is going to be one of the best Pokemon for it. Just Camerupt, sit in there, let it be tanky and stuff like that. Yeah, 125 on the Magmortar, 83 on the base speed though, means you will still get undersped by quite a bit, and just Flame Burst damage into shenanigans. So if you guys enjoyed the video, man, that was insane, Fan Fries, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one as well.